Today, I am so excited to have with us yet again a very, very, very special guest. She is none other than Mirela Sula, who is the founder of Global Woman, which is a huge network ranging over a multitude of countries. It is a network that brings together so many women from so many different backgrounds. I'm a proud member myself since our own club launched in Cyprus 3 years ago exactly. We've just had a conference here celebrating that at St. Raphael Resort and Marina. So once again, we are highlighting just how many fascinating people hotels really bring together, because Mirela has physically come all the way from London, from her hometown, although she is originally from Albania, and she's going to tell us more about her life. Mirela, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. And I'm, as I said, I'm very, very impressed. First, with your empire. The hotel is just amazing, gorgeous place, and such a great opportunity for our members to be part of this. And this studio, absolutely, for everybody who is listening us, just try visualizing. This is the most amazing professional studio that you could imagine to just
stumble
be here.
across in a
It's
hotel.
amazing. Well, everything you do, Farah, is just professional. So
You're so sweet.
well done to you.
Thank you, thank you. Well, we don't do things in halves. We do our best. And yeah, definitely at St. Raphael Resort and Marina, I'm blessed with an amazing team who I think have the same vision as I do. And so much is happening all the time. So it's a great team effort. So Mirela, many people know you, but for those who don't, maybe you can give us a very brief intro into your life and maybe tell us things about you that we should know. What should we know about you?
Well, I feel like I had two lives. I mean, many lives, but at least two, which I separate myself before London and after London. Before I moved to London 10 years ago, I used to live in my home country in Albania. I started my career as a village teacher in a very small village. And then I ended up married in a tiny little village with a big house, 11 people in the family, 8 of them men. So my job was to serve, to clean, to wash. So it was very hard to keep, to stay aligned with any kind of dream that I had, you know. And sometimes I feel obligated to talk a little bit more what happens with the dreams of young girls after they get married. And this is exactly what happened to me after I got married. The dreams started becoming vanished and harder to even keep them in my mind. But somehow, yeah, things turn around again, and you find that strength and that kind of connection with your higher self to keep going. Lots of things happened in my life, starting from my childhood, which was very, very hard one, abusive, and all kind of dramas, which it's okay now. But then facing the adversity of losing my first child, that was another pivotal moment in my life, which I think kind of hit me a lot and changed a lot in me. And then, of course, I've shared my story many times now. I share my story all over the world, because I feel like what is more important than anything is sharing our stories. Because many times people think that, oh, what happens to me, it doesn't happen to anybody. So I took myself into a complete new journey while I discovered this personal development, self-development opportunity. And I studied a lot to heal myself from all what I had to go through. I studied psychology, and then, of course, I did lots of investment in myself in terms of self-development. And one day, after I built myself on many levels in Albania, moving from a small village to a bigger town, and then to a bigger one, and to the capital city, I did whatever I could in my home country. And then the time arrived when I had another big breakthrough when I moved to London with my teenager son, and with a big dream to change my life. And the first 2-3 years, of course, were very difficult, like every immigrant when we move into a new country, especially going completely on your own with no money, with no savings, with no English, with nothing. And yeah, it hasn't been easy, but I somehow, I deep inside me, I knew that I was in the right direction, and I was very close, because many times I say people give up just before they arrive. So every time that I was about to give up, I kept this in mind. So probably, what if I'm very, very close and I give up just right now? Because you don't know that the land is just there. You're trying to swim the ocean, and but you don't see the land, and you think that, oh, it's never coming, it's never coming. And probably you just need to see a couple of signs, probably birds singing somewhere in the air, or some kind of feeling that the land is coming. You just keep going, keep going.
And maybe
And
being
that's
open to those signs as well.
a
'Cause
good
some
point.
people miss them
Good
completely.
point. Yes, you have to. And you're reminding me a story where I think Florence Sin is an author who wrote a book about how important it is to stay awake and see the synchronicities and be able to make sense of things that come your way. And she was sharing a story in her book, saying that a lady went and to another wise woman, saying, "I've heard that you can make dreams come true." I said, "Yes, I can." And I said, I always had a dream. I wanted to have a set of 6 gold plates. Do you think I can have that? I said, "Yes, if you really want it, you'll have it." I said, "Yes, I want it." I said, "Okay, go home, you'll have it." And she went back after a while, and she said, "Look, it didn't work." I said, "Really? You didn't have it?" I said, "No, I had only 2. I asked you, I want 6 of the plates, but I had only 2. I said, "Okay, so when you're swimming and you don't see the land, but you see the birds and you see the fish, it's a sign. First, you have to see the fish. You have to see hear the voice of the birds, and that's a sign that you're getting there. So the 2 plates are the sign." So somehow, this is a message to realize that probably you will not have it all at once, but if you start having some signs, that is enough for you to keep going. So for me, it has been a big calling and a big breakthrough in many levels on this journey, while I see little things which now I have learned how to celebrate and stay awake to see the bigger signs.
Obviously, it took a lot of courage to move from quite a provincial life to a big city, and then from that city where you did get comfortable to a completely new country, new language, new purpose, new identity, everything. Where did you find that courage? How are you that brave? And was it maybe the fact that the alternative was so much worse that gave you that courage? Was staying where you were was something that you absolutely didn't want, and that's what propelled you forward? Or was it just going forward to this, must have been for your friends and family, obscure dream of something that was so remote from anything anybody knew or would have thought about doing? So where is, it's not just your purpose, but that drive, where did that come from? Because it's an incredible story.
Well, I didn't always had that. Definitely, people who know me long time ago, they remember me. I was very shy. I was with low self-esteem. I was overweight most of the time. I remember myself. I always believed that I am not worth. I have no value, because this is the music I heard all day long, from the morning to the evening, in the house during my childhood. I always thought that I was worthless. Who'd even kind of be able to see me, to look at me? So that's why the first man who stopped me in the street ended up being my husband, because that was the culture. So I didn't have this. And now when people tell me, "Oh my God, you're such a powerful woman. Sometimes, okay, now I accept it, because you have to claim your power. The power is there, but first you have to be able to recognize it. You have it, because many people are not able to
But where was
see
the
it.
tipping point? I mean, was there a little voice inside of you that always said, that always doubted those voices, always doubted those people telling you you weren't worthy? I mean, was there even a 1% in you that said, okay, I'm not worth anything, or I'm not beautiful, but then a little question mark, am I? Are they right? Should I prove them wrong?
You're right. Many times it can be like a pivotal moment, or some kind of event that happens into your life, or some kind of breakthrough.
Big aha moment,
Yes,
they say.
I have lots of these, lots. But every single one has made me stronger. So it was not just one
Just
event.
one.
If I tell you how many adversities I had, oh my God, I don't know how did I survive it. But now I don't see it that way. I don't see anymore in the place of the victim. So for me, it's like the power that we have within is bigger than the problem. And when the problem has arrived, has appeared, that means the solution has arrived before the problem. Now, the ability that we have to solve the problem is bigger than we think we have. And that's why slowly I realized that I passed that and I didn't die. I passed that one and I didn't die either. Oh, I passed that one and I survived that one as well. I survived that one as well. It's not a big deal. Why do I worry? There's nothing to worry about. I'm still here. I'm still alive. So you equip yourself with lots of skills. The ability to cope is the biggest ability that we have as human beings. And many people fail coping for very little things. Now, whatever it comes, there is nothing can touch me anymore, because I know if a big problem has arrived, that God has given me the equipment and the strength to deal with it. Otherwise, it will not come to me, because I know whatever it has been going through has been a solution. And even in the most critical moments of my life, there was always a solution. I remember my ex-husband used to say, I don't know what kind of magic you have installed into your aura, because you're many times just about to crush a big wall and complete disaster. And suddenly in the last second, a magic happens and everything comes around you. This is what I call otherwise belief. You have to believe, you have to have faith. And faith is the evidence of things that we are not able to see. Many people want to see things. If they don't see it,
They don't believe.
but when I say you have to see it, you have to recognize it, you have to claim it, you have to see it deep inside you. It's not outside. You have to see it in you.
Is there a cost to telling the truth? Because you've been so open, and I think it's fair to say so integral in changing so many women's lives across the globe. You've given women a voice, you've given them a platform to shine, to be themselves, and to speak the truth. And the first stepping stone of how you did that was by telling your own story, by being an inspiration to so many. But in telling your own story, it's not about showing yourself as vulnerable, because I think that's an asset. It's not something that we should be ashamed of. And we're all vulnerable. And I think so many people now have recognized that. And that's a more of a, I won't use the word trends, but it's something that's becoming more commonplace, where people are, allowing themselves to have that narrative. However, in speaking so openly, and you've never said anything bad about your country, but you do talk about a more provincial life. You talk about the men in your family maybe not being so supportive of women, of yourself. Was there a cost to that? Did anybody ever criticize you for that? Did anybody ever not want to maybe associate with you so much? Were your family upset with you for moving away from them? Because sometimes in life when we gain something, we have to let something else go. And I mean, I know I say it very openly as well. For me, if I want to be completely honest about many things that happen to me in my life, that will affect someone else. That might hurt someone else. So me speaking truthfully.
I've heard this many times, and that's a very, very valid point. What you raise is absolutely something that I hear many times women saying. And yeah, that's a good question. Is there any cost to telling the truth? I would say the biggest cost is not telling the truth. it's a cost on you.
To you.
You will never feel liberated. You will never feel releasing your highest potential, your higher self, unless you are true and honest with yourself, unless you have that courage to protect yourself. If you're not telling the truth, you're telling yourself, I'm sorry, I can't protect you. You have to take charge of yourself, and you have to tell yourself, you know what? I have forgiven these people, and I've forgiven you for not releasing me before. Because once you have released yourself from that cage, you are absolutely into a different dimensions. I always say this, and there is nothing more healing, nothing can help you to reach your highest self more than being ready to do only things that everybody will know. If we are planning to do something that you're not people to know about it, I suggest don't do it. All the anxiety, all the fear, all the blockage, all the stagnation comes from the things that we try to keep secret, from the things that we try to keep hidden, from the things that we hope people will not know.
The lies.
Yes.
The lies. And the lies to yourself, and the cost to yourself for carrying those lies. Yourself. And how long can you continue them? How long can you play someone who isn't you and not be authentic? You're right. I mean, that's what I know, that a lot of friends of mine who have sought help professionally with therapists for various different stages they've been through in their life, they've always been told as a kind of 101 for healing, you're only responsible for your own feelings. Yeah. You're not responsible for someone else's. So if you're yourself and someone doesn't like it, if your mother's disappointed with you, if your best friend doesn't like it, if your husband leaves you, or whatever, whatever case that happens, you lose your job, you're not responsible for their feelings. Sure. You're only responsible for your own. So
and sometimes,
be strong.
You know what? Sometimes people fear too much. They worry for things that will never happen. Many times I would have clients who say, oh, if I do that, it will be a disaster. This will happen. I said, how about you try? Nothing happened. She would go home and she would tell her husband what she wanted to tell. And the husband said, oh, you didn't tell me before?
It's so funny.
Sometimes we have it in our mind.
And then we make a big deal out of a mountain out of a molehill. Actually, we had Greta Bronkiene, who's also a member of Global Women, and she was on this podcast. And she was very open about her childhood, about how her upbringing, her connection with hotels, how her dad especially brought her up and reacted to her, the influence of her mother. And apparently her parents listened to that podcast, and they called her and they said, we've just learned things about you that we never knew. And it wasn't bad. She wasn't dissing them or being disrespectful. Quite on the contrary, she was saying positive things. So it's not just about being truthful and being negative or criticizing. It's just also about being open and just saying, oh, this made me feel like that, or this, was a pivotal moment in my life, or thank you, or I love you, or whatever it is. And just always being honest.
And honestly, when I say that I had a abusive childhood, honestly, I say it like a normal thing. Like it doesn't touch me anything. And if my mother hears it, and she has heard me many times saying that, I said, Mom, it's not your fault.
You don't blame her. You forgive her.
Absolutely. I just tell it like natural.
Yeah, a fact.
And I don't
like
blame
we used
her.
to have porridge for breakfast.
I love you. I love your husband as well. Bless. As far as you're happy with my stepfather, I accept him. You didn't know any better.
It's one of my favorite quotes, actually. That you have to accept the apology that you've never received.
Yes, I heard about this expression.
I really like it.
So honestly, we need to dramatize things that happen into our life.
De-dramatize.
You see, de-dramatize. Because sometimes we just exaggerate a little bit.
So, do you have any fears? Are you worried about anything? I mean, we all are, but you are such a positive, such an open person. But what is there? Something you worry about?
I worry about everything, and I have lots of fears, but very for short time. Like, I'm a human being, and like every human beings, we are designed to have fears, but it doesn't stay that long to me. It can, for example, let's suppose I'm scared to miss the flight, and I worry for a couple of minutes, and then I mobilize all my forces, my mental health my mental
health,
no,
well-being.
my mental
Mindset.
workers.
Okay.
I call mental workers. I mobilize all my mental workers and okay, it's not a big deal if I miss the flight. Okay, I'm just giving you an example. Or whatever I'm worried about, it stays with me for a couple of minutes, and it's okay sometimes, to be sad or to be upset or to be in the dark zone, but it's not okay to stay long.
Yeah.
So you have to take yourself out of that.
Yeah, I gave a talk on that a couple of years ago before COVID, actually, yeah, about lifting yourself up. And it's okay, as you said, it's okay to feel down, to allow yourself that time to grieve, to wallow, so to speak, but you can't let that become the norm.
Yeah.
So you need to give yourself that time, cry, be annoyed, be angry, but then you have to say, right, where am I going from here?
Exactly. Yeah.
So, okay, you have a teenage son. No, is he
Now
older?
he's 24.
Okay,
in a few
sorry.
days.
So I've skipped a few years. But okay, you've always laughed about when your son was a teenager. And especially, you moving him from one country, his home country that he was used to, going to London, the big changes that came with that. What is your advice as a mother for anyone who has a teenage son or is going to have teenage kids in a few years? How can we ride that wave, that hormonal wave
Well,
of
you
this
have a few
craziness?
more years.
Not very many, actually. Yasemina's gonna, in 3 years we'll be there. So, and girls start early.
Yeah, girls
Yeah.
start early. Oh, well, probably you're a lucky one because not necessarily you have to go through this tough time, but most of the time, yes, I hear lots of parents going through that really tough time.
Yeah,
with
roller
their-
coaster.
But you know what I would say? Don't take it personal. And very soon, at the beginning, it was a shock for me, but I mobilized myself very, very soon. I don't know I would say probably I demonstrated the biggest strength while I've been dealing with my son. Everything else, I see it was easy. Everything in my life has been easy. The hardest, toughest time is to see the only asset that you have in your life, that you have sacrificed everything, is sitting in front of you and is hating you. And he doesn't want to do anything with you. I mean, it has been tough. I mean, I
It's
was
tough.
completely, and it was really, really tough. And then was a very quick moment when I mobilized myself. I said, I should not take this personal. I should allow him to hate me. Why should I be so selfish? If he's happy hating me, I'm happy. Absolutely. So probably I'm the only person that he can express his anger and upset
And you'll still love him unconditionally.
Oh, now he's a complete different person.
Yeah.
And I knew it's not going to be forever. I knew it was part of the transition.
So demonstrating patience
Oh
as
my
well.
God.
And
now
faith, as you
we
said,
are
and
the
faith.
best friends. He
Aw.
takes care of me on everything. And if I tell him that, oh my God, I'm so happy you're back. You remember you hated me. He said, never hated you, Mama. I
Aw.
never hated you. So probably it was in my mind. I don't know.
Well, I think also the teenage blip of memory is a godsend. The human mind is amazing. It tends to only remember happy moments. So, that's amazing. So, who was your mentor? You've been a mentor for so many people. Who was yours? Was there one person in particular? Was there someone who you met and you went, wow, I know that you've talked about Mother Teresa as well, because she was also from Albania. And yeah, who was your mentor?
Well, at the beginning, my mentors were the books. Books are your best mentors. Then I started jumping from one event to another, trying to find people who I probably can see as role models. Because
relate
for
to.
me, yeah, of course. And
So you went to a lot of
lots
of events
what
on
I,
leadership, on
well, when I moved to London,
motivation.
what I was doing, because I didn't have money, I was checking every single day events. London is the best place to be. There were lots of events, most of them free or cheap, very tiny little money. And I would walk my son at the school in the morning, and I would go every single day events because I was not working. I couldn't find a job. For 1 year, I had no job. I was applying every single day, and I didn't have one single interview. not at all. But at least I did what I could. I was going to all these events every single day, meet people,
Again,
trying
the
to improve my
determination
English.
is amazing.
So these were like the beginnings. Then, of course, I mentioned many times, Veronica Tan has been a great support for me, a great mentor. I called her my rich mama. And then I have been very fortunate to meet Kim Kiyosaki. I learned a lot from her. And yeah, there have been quite a few other people, which at the beginning I thought probably I'm uncoachable because I would leave very quick. But definitely Veronica Tan, Kim Kiyosaki, they have played a big role in who I have become.
That's so inspiring. So, of all the books you've read, what's your favorite? And you can't say your own because I know you've written several. So,
Well, probably I should say that probably yes, there have been quite a lot of books that changed my life before I came here. Because, as I say, I started visualizing myself walking in the streets of London or New York or LA or traveling before I even could imagine that I could
Saw
go
an
to
airplane.
Tirana to, yeah, exactly. So by reading these books, I started already reading in a complete new world. But if there is a book, and I've read lots of books, but if there is a book which I suggest all the time, which has absolutely, probably 90% of my success or everything that I do and I keep doing, I dedicate to Master Key System, which is my Bible. Since I discovered that book, every single day I start
the Master Key System.
Master Key System, Charles Hanel. That's my Bible. Every single day I read that book, it feels like I'm reading it from the beginning. For 15 years, that book stays with me daily. If I skip, something is missing. I feel like I haven't eaten. I don't feel comfortable.
It's almost like your meditation or your time out. Yeah.
It's I don't know.
Or your cheerleader. I don't know. Yeah.
I suggest to people, and sometimes when I do my master classes, my business school, my courses, I suggest it to my clients. Some of them, they take it. I had quite a few ladies, I met them a few years later, and probably I don't remember them. I see them like randomly you remember me? I said, where have I seen you, darling? Said, I was in your class and you suggested me that book. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So some people take it, some people don't take it, but for me, it has been a life-changing.
You know, that's one of the things I love about you so much is that you are so open to sharing, to inspiring, and to helping so many. And it's something that I spoke about today when I did the welcome address in the Global Women Conference, that a lot of the time, and I think unfortunately it does fall on women many times, women are so afraid and they keep kind of their contacts, their secrets, everything to themselves because they think someone else is going to come in and steal their thunder or steal their job or steal their whatever it might be in their life. And actually, I think someone said today, there's abundance. There's enough out there for all of us. So the more you share, the more you're going to get.
Charles Hanel, the Master Key System says, everything you wish for yourself, wish everybody have. And I apply all the principles of Master Key System. That's why I give, because there is a principle of giving. I give because my job is to give. And also there is another book which is called The Seed Money. The seed money is like you have to give your money and then you claim it back. It's like you plant the seed and now I have learned how to let the money go. I said, God, universe, wherever you believe, I am going to give this, let's say, £5,000 to the hotel, St. Raphael Hotel, consciously, with my goodwill, with my desire, and I expect this seed to be multiplied 10 times. I want to claim my seed. So you consciously commit on something and you consciously seek back in another way. By the law of transaction or whatever law of
attraction as well.
Attraction. Yeah. Every time that you invest something, you have to claim the seed instead of complaining, oh, I don't have the money. Even when I was homeless, money was never issue what I want for something that I really wanted. I don't know for what reason. If I wanted something, I would have no money in my bank account, but I will still find a way to get that thing.
It's all about mindset, goals, manifesting. Mariana Rosette also, who came on this podcast, said the same thing. I mean, she grew up with nothing and in a tiny flat in Moscow and said one day, I want to be on that boat that was on TV. And her grandmother thought it was a just like a make-believe thing. She's like, these things don't exist. She's like, no, I'm going to get on an airplane. I'm going to leave. And she did it. It's just amazing. So many amazing stories. And on that note, you've met so many amazing people. Who's impressed you the most?
Yeah, that's interesting, because you meet these famous people and you see them on the stage, read their books, and you feel like, wow, how these people real. And then you meet them in real, and on stage they are very impressive, but sometimes they are not the same on stage and off stage.
So putting on an act, and
okay. But what has really, really impressed me is Kim Kiyosaki. I mean, I can't believe people like her exist. I mean, she is absolutely the most genuine, decent, integrative person that I could imagine. She is real. And this is the role model that I want to follow. A woman who has everything but treats you with respect and dignity. Everybody. With nothing in return.
Inspiring people, basically. People who make you want to be like them.
Well, this is what the world needs. Needs more people who are genuinely contributing with their gifts, with their superpowers, and serving as leaders and role models for other people. Because this is what we need right now. We need leaders, and we're seeing that many countries are struggling to have these role models in different areas of life.
You do classes on public speaking. You talk about it quite a lot as well. I've also spoken about it on this podcast, the importance of public speaking and holding yourself and being able to basically be in sales. Like, we're all selling something, whatever it is, we're there. That's us. It's our personal brand. And not everyone, though, has that gift or has learned it, because it's not something everyone's born with, being able to, whether it's get up on stage or just whether to do a, 1-minute elevator pitch. What's your advice to people to become better public speakers?
Yeah, that's a very good point, because first, when you commit into public speaking, you want to understand the why, because the why is the most important thing. Why do you want to go and share your message or your content or your expertise? So it should be a why. You want to go to inspire, you want to motivate, you want to grow your business, you want to grow your personal brand, you want to serve, you want to grow your community. So there are many reasons. So first of all, we all agree that public speaking has lots of benefits, and public speaking incorporates everything. Once you put yourself out there on stage, it helps you to build your confidence, it helps you to build networking, to build your name, to build your reputation, to grow massively. And I mean, public speaking is number one thing that I would recommend to every business owner, no matter in what kind of business, because sometimes, I'm not in that industry, I don't want to get in. No matter, you are an owner of a hotel. Once you put yourself out there, you've
got a team, you've got clients, whatever it is. If you immediately see them and start mumbling, or your shoulders hunch, or you can't, immediately alarm bells start ringing subconsciously, and anyone else, they'll say, well, wait a minute, if he doesn't believe in that, or if she doesn't believe in it.
So true.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. My dear, we could talk for ages, but we have a dinner to get to. So I want to just thank you for coming to St. Raphael and finally being here with us.
Thank you.
And I hope you come back again.
And you call this Hotel Talk. So I've been in the last 10 years, I've been exploring the world of hotels.
Hundreds of hotels.
Oh my God, lots.
Which have been your favorite? Or what's your favorite destination?
Oh, okay. That's a very interesting. Well, definitely I have enjoyed the luxury. I love the luxury. I mean,
who doesn't love luxury? Elizabeth also said that. I can't remember which episode. She's like, we all love luxury.
Yes, we have to accept that. I've been running events all over the world, and everywhere I go, first of all, it has to be a 5-star. Definitely, I'm very impressed with St. Raphael.
Oh, thank you. Beautiful. And I'm not paying you to say that.
No, it's not only the luxury that we have found here, but you really have created a sense of community or belonging, and you feel home. The energy, you feel it in the air. It's like, and I have heard this long, long time ago. There is an expression like the whole company has the energy of the leader. So you have to have it as a leader so everybody can pick it up. As you said, your body language translates everything. And
Absolutely, it's enthused in everyone.
you have been able to transmit this to not only your employees, but also to your customers.
No, that's the aim. That's the aim. Everyone's part of the family. That's what we say. It's all part of the St. Raphael family.
It's beautiful, and congratulations. And yeah, I will definitely come back and I will speak up about my experience. And because everything I wish for myself, I want everybody have. So I want people to come and experience.
You're
St.
kind.
Raphael.
And that's what we say. That's our slogan in St. Raphael. Activate kindness. So on that note, this is a team effort, and our team have put together these questions that are in this beautiful crystal bowl because we don't want
that's
stinky hats here.
Very interesting. Okay.
So which one have you picked out? And sometimes they tell us, sometimes they don't. Who wrote it because they get embarrassed. But this one, Ivaz has asked. He's one of our team in the front office. Oh, so it's good that you're actually staying with us because not everyone is. So he says, was your time well spent while you were staying with us?
Oh, absolutely. The thing is that it's not enough time.
There's not enough time.
You know what I said when I came here, when I felt it, I started exploring. I want to live here.
Oh, well, that's why. I mean, it's amazing. We have guests who, that was quite a few years ago. We had one repeat guest who got a couple, and they were celebrating their 1 year anniversary. And I didn't get it at first. I was like, what do you mean 1 year? Like, you're older. You've been married many years. Like, what's the 1 year? And they were like, oh, it's 1 year living in this hotel. And again, I was like, what do you mean? You haven't been here for a year. They said they calculated all their days over, I don't know, like a decade or more. And it had equaled 365 days. So they were here on holiday celebrating a 1 year of living at St. Raphael.
Oh,
and
that's amazing.
And it's so nice to have so many guests.
You should have them in your podcast.
Well, you know what? I will actually. We will have some repeat guests for sure.
Opening for
guests,
customers.
Yeah,
now.
because there's just so many interesting and fascinating stories, and we meet so many amazing people in being a hotelier and in hotels. Anyone from all different backgrounds, different stories, and they're really touching. So it's lovely to hear people come and just say that they've loved their time here, and that's the reward that we all, why we do what we do.
Oh, that's amazing. Please keep doing it. It's incredible, the vision that you have, because what I've seen, you are not like in the box. You get out of the box. You're creative. You are everywhere. And
Hyper.
this is
Duracell bunny.
This is the best models that we want to see on women.
Thank you so much, my dear. Here's to many, many, many more global women conferences, especially here in Cyprus.
Thank you for hosting us.
It's my pleasure. Everyone, check out Mirela Sula and make sure you buy her books. Join the club wherever you are in the world. And I wish you every success always. I'm next to you in whatever you do.
Thank you. Thank you so much.